There was a moment recently when I almost failed. And the scary part is, I knew better. I knew exactly what was happening. I understood the trap. I understood the consequences. I understood my values. And still, for a moment, I almost gave in. That is how powerful lust is. People underestimate it. They think lust is just attraction, just desire, just biology. No. Lust is spiritual warfare. And if you are a man trying to become righteous, trying to build discipline and get closer to God, lust will test you harder than almost anything else. Because lust does not attract your logic. It attracts your weakness. And recently, I experienced it again. You see, it had been years since I had any closeness with a woman. Years. Not because I hated women, not because I was incapable, not because I couldn't find someone. No. I made a promise. A real promise. I told God that I no longer wanted random connections. No more meaningless conversations. And no more temporary pleasure. No more empty attention. I surrendered that part of my life to Him. And ever since then, I started building myself differently. I started praying, reading the Bible, training every single day, changing my habits, changing my mind, my soul. And slowly, I began understanding the kind of woman I truly wanted in my life. Not just physically attractive. That's easy. I'm talking about values, standards, peace, loyalty, purity, integrity. The kind of a woman that you pray for. The kind of a woman you thank God for. And I understood something important. If I wanted a woman like that, I had to become the kind of a man worthy of her. So I worked on myself every single day. Not perfectly, but honestly. And then recently, I met this woman. Physically attractive? Yes. But deep inside, I already knew she was not my woman. Not even close. Different values. Different lifestyle. Different direction. I understood it immediately. And still, my body reacted. That's the dangerous part. Because lust doesn't care about your standards. Lust doesn't care about your future. And it doesn't care about your purpose. It only wants one friend. Now. And suddenly, my mind became loud. she started texting me, flirting with me, and I flirted back. I'll be honest, I did. And it felt good. That attention, that tension, that excitement. My imagination started running wild. I had visions in my head, desires, scenarios, temptation. And the worst part, I knew she would say yes. I knew all I had to do was make one decision, one message, one invitation, one weak moment. That's it. Years of discipline, hanging on one decision. And that's when I realized something terrifying. You can spend years building yourself and still be vulnerable if you stop being aware. That's why the Bible speaks so much about guarding your mind. Because temptation rarely arrives looking evil. Usually, it arrives looking beautiful, comforting, exciting, pleasurable. And then, in the middle of all those thoughts, the voice came. Quiet. Calm. Sharp. It said, "You gave your trust to God. You told him you no longer wanted random women. You asked him to prepare the right woman for you. So why are you about to throw away your promise for a temporary feeling?" And suddenly, everything became clear. I realized this had nothing to do with love. Nothing. It was purely physical. Temporary. Empty. And the greatest part is, I already knew that from the very beginning. That's how deceptive lust is. It can make you betray your own values, even when you clearly see the truth. That's why so many great men fell because of it. Solomon fell. David sinned because of it. Powerful men. Wise men. Disciplined men. Lust doesn't care who you are. It waits patiently. And when your guard drops for one moment, it strikes. So I stopped completely. I pulled away. And later that night, I got on my knees and prayed. Nothing even happened physically, but I still felt ashamed. Because in my mind, I had already started walking towards sin. So I apologized to God. Not because I'm perfect, but because I truly care about my relationship with Him. That relationship means more to me than temporary pleasure. And I remember sitting there thinking, how crazy is this? Years alone. Years disciplined. Years building a relationship with God. And still, one moment almost broke me. That's when I understood why awareness is so important. Because the devil rarely destroys a man instantly. He seduces him slowly. One little compromise. One conversation. One excuse. One weak moment. That's all it takes. And the scary part is, your body can crave something your soul completely rejects. That's just the world. The body versus the soul. The flesh versus alignment. And every man must choose which one he feeds. Because whatever you feed grows stronger. Now here's the beautiful part. The moment I truly made my decision, she actually disappeared. The texting stopped. The energy disappeared, almost instantly. And honestly, it felt spiritual, like temptation just realized that it lost. And now when I look back at that situation, I feel grateful. Not because I was tempted, but because I survived it. Because now my standards are even stronger. Now I understand lust differently. It's not just desire, it's a test. A test of commitment. A test of discipline. A test of whether your values are real or just words. And that's what I want every man listening to understand. Your standards mean nothing until they get tested. Anybody can speak about discipline when there's no temptation around. Anybody can speak about loyalty when nobody attractive is offering them attention. Anybody can speak about God when life is easy. But who are you when temptation stands right in front of you? That's where character is revealed. And listen carefully. You're not weak for being tempted. Even the strongest man in history were tempted. The danger begins when you entertain it too long. When you play with it. When you convince yourself it's not a big deal. Yes, but this is different. Nobody will know. That's how people fall. Not instantly, but gradually. And I realized something else too. The pain of resisting temptation is temporary, but the shame of betraying yourself lasts much longer. That's why I'm proud of my decision. Not because I'm superior, not because I'm perfect, but because I kept my word. And today, that means everything to me. Because every time you keep your word, you become stronger. Every time you resist temptation, your spirit becomes sharper. Every time you choose alignment over pleasure, you move closer to God. And every time you betray yourself, you feel weaker afterward. Not because of what you did physically, but because deep inside, you know you abandoned your own standards. That is the real pain of sin. And maybe right now, you're fighting your own temptation. Maybe lust, maybe addiction, maybe attention. or validation, whatever it is, remember this. Temporary pleasure is never worth permanent regret. Do not trade your future for one weak moment. Do not destroy years of discipline for temporary excitement. And never lower your standards because your body feels lonely. Loneliness passes. Temptation passes. But self-respect, that changes your entire life. And I truly believe that God watches those moments carefully. Not to punish you, but to see whether your faith is real, whether your values are real, whether your commitment is real. And when you stay loyal during temptation, you become stronger than before. So if you're walking this path, stay aware. Guard your mind. Guard your eyes. Guard your energy. Because lust is patient, but so is God. And trust me, the peace that comes from keeping your word feels infinitely better than any temporary pleasure ever could.